How y'all doing, everybody? CJ the Smart Guy with you. And today I have a guest that was the videographer of Najah Roberts' Digital Financial Revolution Tour, also known as the Black Wall Street Tour. Her name is Valissa Tate. She went to every single city. As you guys know, I only went to 22 cities. You guys could check out my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, where I talk about the individual cities from Houston to Atlanta to Detroit and everywhere in between. But today, it's all about Valissa Tate. So thank you for coming on, Valissa. How have you been? First off, how was your holiday and all of that?
My holiday was great. Got to spend a little time with some family and relax a little bit from school, so it was wonderful.
Okay, and what school are you based off of, and what city are you from?
University of North Texas in Denton.
Okay, cool. You what's your classification like? Freshman, sophomore, junior?
Junior.
Junior. Okay, cool. And what's your major?
Media arts.
Media arts. Okay. And how did you get involved with the tour, the Digital Revolution Financial Tour with Najah Roberts?
So it's a long story, but I'll try to summarize it. So when the pandemic first hit, I lost my job like everybody else, and I took advantage of the unemployment. And so I flipped a coin, and I decided I was going to buy all the equipment I need because
Nice.
this is something I've been striving for a very long time. It's just I was just never able to afford the equipment. And so, so 2019, in the springtime, that's when I got my equipment. I already had a job lined up for a summer camp, and I was working 100 hours a week. But
Ooh.
I, decided that this was my chance to show what I can do. So I made 20 music videos in 2 weeks, and I made 2 term videos or like highlight videos.
Okay.
And yeah, so I had a lot of responsibility when I worked there.
So the pandemic hit around like what, June? No, like March 2020.
No, pandemic hit the end of 2019 in December.
Oh wow.
And then it really started kicking in about March.
That's when everybody got locked down. Okay, and so then you took the unemployment money and then bought money for your entrepreneurship, which is videography.
Videography, and at the time I was focused on photography as well.
Okay, and then you said you created 20 music videos. Are those like published? Is there a place that people can find those at?
Some of them are published, not all of them, but yeah, if you want to go on my YouTube channel, I believe it's, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, yeah, no worries. We're gonna make sure we put the link on there when the video come. Okay, cool. So you made those videos, and then what was the connection between those videos and Najah Roberts?
So that's where the catalyst came in. So that fall, in September, I was assigned to, well, first of all, let me tell you, a friend of mine, Alexis Flores, he suggested that I take this job because he, was unavailable to do it. And so I took the job. And for Kwesi Gaharo, he enjoyed my drone work. He wanted to hire me primarily for my drone work. And then I worked for an event that is a binge watching show for Marrying Millions. And so, there was
You got it. Look, I know you normally are going to be behind the camera, but now you're in front of the camera. You good. Speak up. I know you're in college, but you got this. It's your platform.
So I worked for I worked an event at the Virgin Hotels, and Kwesi Gaharo gave me that job, and I was hired primarily for my drone work. And they liked the video. So and then I had a couple of clients after that. Then I meet Kwesi again the next year. So 2021 in the spring, I was assigned to shoot NFL players playing basketball to raise money for homeless children.
Nice.
Or homeless teenagers, actually. And then I was also assigned to shoot a poetry event. So and then along that, there was actually funding that was lost. But I decided that, in this instance, I did not mind shooting both events for free, and he appreciated that. So
Nice, yeah. So Kwesi, that wanted being the tour manager. I know when I had reached out to Najah, I was like, "Hey, I want to come on tour with you." I didn't know I was going to go to all those cities. Originally I was just thinking I was going to go from Houston to like Baltimore and then head back, but I wound up staying the whole tour. You guys could check out the whole story on that on the podcast. I talked about it in my Houston episode, but right now I just released the Mount Bayou episode, which is my first time really getting to talk to Valissa. I know she was doing an interview with Dr. Evans. Make sure you guys check out the Mount Bayou episode. It just dropped this previous Friday. So Kwesi was the tour manager of the tour. He's the one who basically brought you in. And then, so how did you think the tour went overall? Because I know you came in from the first city in LA and you went through all the cities. I went through like 22, but you went to all of them. So what were some of the highlights that you would like people to know about?
Some of the highlights, I would say, let me think. One thing for sure is it was a unique and wonderful experience. I never really thought that I would be thrown out there to go and shoot all around the country. I was actually told or given this opportunity last minute. And
everything was last minute.
after my finals, suddenly I found myself flying to LA, it was crazy because it was my first time just flying alone, flying somewhere. Like I didn't really know where I was going, but it all worked out. So yeah, so it was just a great, unique experience. I got to meet, CJ, of course, in Mount Bayou, and it was really cool. We clicked. And then I got to meet, Dr. Evans. He was cool and he was very wise and had a lot of knowledge. What I appreciate the most about the store was I gained a lot of knowledge from it, not just knowledge on Bitcoin, but knowledge on different topics and things that I didn't know about before from personal experiences. So, and then I got to meet Lamar Wilson in Kentucky.
Yeah, shout outs to Lamar. Hold on real quick. So in this background, I got a book. It's called Bitcoin and the American Dream. Lamar Wilson, as well as Charlene Federico, Jimmy Song, and a couple other people. They created this book. They're basically creating policy so that, Bitcoin can be taxed and essentially, policy the way that it should be versus the way that certain people are trying to make it. So it's like the experts coming together. So yeah, you said you got to meet Lamar. He's good people in Kentucky. Sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off, but keep going. I'm listening.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to meet Lamar Wilson. And then, I've got to meet Charlene, and, Lamar, he's a really fun, happy-go-lucky guy.
For sure.
When he comes in, he brings positivity into the environment. And the same goes with Charlene. Charlene, she's very mother-like, I would say. And, of course, Najah, I really appreciate Najah because she always treated me with respect as an artist, as an individual as well. And, she also threw me a birthday party.
Yeah.
When we were at Tulsa, Oklahoma. I took a picture with Hill when we were there, and I saw Lamar as well. And
when you say Hill, let everybody know who Hill is.
Yeah, Hill Harper. He is the actor for The Good Doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe he's Dr. Marcus.
Actually, I've never seen The Good Doctor, but I know for sure he was on it. And every city I feel like we went to, people were like, "Oh, it's Hill here, it's Hill here," and everybody would take pictures. I was like, "Oh, we were the celebrity. I didn't even know it." But then he pulled up in that limo, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's real."
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So when I came on this tour, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so I appreciate Najah for throwing me that birthday party.
Yeah.
And I got to see everybody. I got to be with everybody that I appreciate on the tour. Oh, and Rob.
I'm
Security
listening.
guard.
Oh, Ron. Yeah.
Ron. Why
Yeah,
did I think
yeah.
Rob? Ron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ron was like our bodyguard for sure, especially in St. Louis. For y'all don't know, St. Louis will be coming out later on down the road. But let's just say, what's that Nelly song? You can find me in St. Louis with a gunplay, rain all day. That's all I'm gonna say. But make sure y'all check out the St. Louis episode when that one comes out for sure. Shout outs to Ron because he did his job for sure.
Yeah, Ron was cool. He was always the one that made me laugh along the journey. So yeah, car rides were long, but it was always fun with everybody that came with us.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what were your top 3 cities that you went to and why? Because you went to all of them. I only went to 22.
Gosh, that's okay. I have to say Mount Bayou was probably my favorite.
Okay.
It was just relaxing. It was very authentic, and I got to see a lot of history. You know, none of it was destroyed, and none of it was messed with. Like, it wasn't tampered with. That's the word. So yeah, I enjoyed Mount Bayou for the historical knowledge I received from it and the beautiful nature that is out there. And the people were really nice as well. Very, very, very nice. So, yeah, Mount Bayou. And then I have to say Florida. It was kind of cool being at the Bitcoin
conference. Okay, so Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Miami, Florida.
I think you had gone to maybe 3 cities in Florida, but you're talking about Miami, the Bitcoin conference.
You know, I gotta mix in Miami, the Bitcoin conference, with it was 3 cities: Tampa Bay
and Orlando. I didn't go to Orlando or Tampa.
I enjoyed Orlando and Miami. I kind of want to mix them together.
I got you.
I enjoyed Miami because it was kind of cool to see such a huge event and so much technology out there. It was very, I guess, diverse in terms of what all I've seen out there. It was, it was just diverse, yeah.
Okay.
And then as for Orlando, the people there were really cool. You know, they sold these crystals, and they were very knowledgeable about their own history in Florida. So I appreciated that as well. But back to like the tour, you know.
Yeah, that third city. What's the third city? I know we grouped in Miami and Orlando together. We need a third city.
I gotta say, I love all the cities.
That's the political answer.
Maybe
Baltimore. Okay, Baltimore. Talk to me about Baltimore a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, Baltimore. It was cool. You know, we pulled up, and when you pull in there, all the like buildings were kind of destroyed.
Yeah, dilapidated for sure.
Yeah, they were like kind of destroyed and distressed. And so it was interesting to see because it was a really beautiful area. You know, the nature was thriving there, and you know, those homes were actually really nice looking to me, but they were just distressed. You know, I flew my drone over, and one of them, you know, had a giant hole in there. Actually, most of the buildings had holes in there, and
talking about in the roof.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was like a tree that grew out of one of the homes, and it was, you know, pink, and I believe I have a video on it.
Okay.
Actually, it's, if you go to Crypto Blockchain Plugs YouTube, they have uploaded it, and you look under Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
It'll be on there. So you'll see the drone footage for that. It was one of the most beautiful drone footage I've ever captured. So yeah, so then there is, you know, all the other people that was there. So there was Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine Brunson.
Jasmine Brunson. I met her again later in DC, but yeah, she was cool. You know, she was out there singing. Um, and it was cool to film. And then, I got to meet, uh, what was her name?
I don't remember, but I definitely
She
give her a
had the
shout out
hat.
on the Baltimore episode for sure.
Yeah, she was cool. She was working really hard to bring the place back up. And it's kind of crazy since they're really close, um, to Washington, D.C. But, she's been working really hard to bring it back up and among with her children. And I really admire what she does. So, and I believe she said that it was once a church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. So so there's a bunch of homes, and then there was a church right in the middle, and it was like kind of a Catholic style to it, and I think she turned it into like a kind of like a display.
Yeah, I know that when we went, they continuously have like concerts out there and they have different
Yeah.
performers. They were singing, they were dancing, and like, through the dilapidation and the rundown areas, it seemed those the people, I mean, the genuineness over there was like really, I mean, it was real. And it was crazy to see how they really lived because like you said, the buildings look beautiful. But then when you go inside or you look at the actual like roofs or, what's around it, it just looked like it had been abandoned, but yet the people were still there and the people were, they were real tight knit. So it was kind of concerning to me to see a Baltimore like that because it's like the history was deep, the people were great, the buildings looked like they had good structures, but it was just like, yeah,
Wow.
it looked like it just hadn't been kept up to date, for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the lady's name right now, but we're gonna put the lady's name on here at the very end. Trust me. And then she, she spoke to everybody, and I felt the same way about Baltimore. I think that was one of the most interesting cities out of all the ones I went to for sure. You had mentioned drone work, so first tell people about what are drones, because some people look at those as like little killer shooter thingies that they just gonna come down and shoot you or something. And what's the specialty? How long does it take you to fly drones? What are the benefits from it? And just, what's your expertise in it? And also what's your rates with it?
So I fly a drone. Actually, I think most people like to hire me for my drone work. I like to fly the DJI drones. I fly the Mavic Mini. I have the Mavic, or I'm planning to buy the Mavic Mini 2 right now. But yeah, so drones, the one I have at least, it comes with a controller, and then you connect it to your phone, and after it connects, you just take it off, fly it up, and I mean, yeah, and then you just fly it around. But yeah, so the expertise that comes behind it. Well, when I worked 100 hours a week at that summer camp, I really mastered drone.
100 hours a week for sure. Yeah.
I really mastered drone. I'm flying through trees and I'm flying near the water. And so, yeah, I really learned. And then the tour made me strengthen my drone work even more because there was always different kinds of climates, weather, sometimes some difficult wind, especially since my drone is so small. So it was really just practice, really. If you want to fly up, I think you gotta use the left.
I don't know. I don't know.
Left toggle. If you want to, go left and right, you use the right toggle. And you have to learn how to do it simultaneously. And then if you want like something more stylized, then you have to learn how to go up, turn, and it's cool. So yeah, I post a lot of my drone work in my story on Instagram. So my Instagram is Valissa with a V. CJ inspired me with that.
For sure. Hey, those are important. Like just the concept of CJ the Smart Guy or Valissa with a V. When we're on tour and we're talking to people, if I say my name is Charles Kelly, that's my real name, y'all, Charles J. Kelly. But Kelly, some people spell it with an EY, some people spell it with an I, some people spell it with an IE. And so, people will get confused. And I get that question all the time. Kelly, how do you spell that? How do you spell Charles? Which in my mind, there's only one way to spell Charles, but Kelly, there's a multiple ways. And so with a name like Valissa, I know I kept hearing people say Melissa, and they were like, how do you spell it? So, I think it's really good to be able to not only just identify who you are with something unique, because your name's unique. Charles isn't necessarily unique, but then also being able to answer their questions before they answer them or before they ask them. And so I was like, well, Valissa with a V, I think that would be more identifiable. And so, yeah, I'm glad you're still using that, because I don't hear people. Most of the time I heard people start saying, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Versus saying, Melissa, what type of name? No, just Valissa with the V off top. So
yeah, that's how I always introduce myself. My name is Valissa with the V.
There you go. Represent. Okay, so also tell them what your rates are and how they can get in contact with you. You said your Instagram was Valissa with a V. Your YouTube's going to appear also. But what are your typical rates for drone work, for videography, for photography? Let them know so that you can get some business out of this.
So for normal, video work, that means, I show up to your event. I do all sorts of events, weddings. I did the binge watch party. I do a lot of events. I charge, and I can do editing as well. I charge about $250 per hour for that. And then as for the drone work, I charge about $350 per hour. So.
Yeah, okay. And where can they find you? They just go to your Instagram. Is that the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah. So Valissa with the V. You can reach out to me on my Instagram. And yeah.
Okay. And so you was on this tour. Are you accepting Bitcoin? Okay. And then what are some things that you learned from the tour in terms of Bitcoin and things of that nature that you would want your college classmates to learn, as well as your videographers?
Okay, so I'm no expertise. Charles the expert, Najah's the expert, but I guess I would say, with my own college terms, Bitcoin it seems like it is the new currency. It's leaning to that, especially since it's getting more involved with bigger corporations. I believe like Starbucks.
Oh yeah, Starbucks is accepting Bitcoin now.
Yeah, Starbucks. College students love Starbucks.
That part.
Yeah, so Starbucks. And then there's Tesla, of course. Everybody knows that one. What other corporations? But yeah, all the big corporations are starting to accept Bitcoin. They're starting to buy Bitcoin. And then not only that, but the government, they're starting to look into Bitcoin as well as the rest of the world. So it's something that seems to definitely become legitimate, and definitely something that I am looking more into. So yeah.
For sure. Also, I'm gonna let them know, for the college kids that are out there, or for the struggling artists, there are ways to acquire Bitcoin without, spending any money. You got the Fold app. You can spin the wheel daily. You got the Lolly, Lolli, where you can open the treasure chest. And if you're actually trying to read up on cryptocurrency or Bitcoin in general, you could download the Carrot app. So every article that you read, you get free Bitcoin as well. So if you guys are starving artists, or you're in college and don't have any money, those are 3 ways that you can accumulate this new financial asset without having to put up any money, as well as check out some of those play to earn games out there. Because look, Bitcoin is becoming the new standard, as you guys see. Bitcoin and the American dream. I look at this as the biggest wealth transfer since slavery. And, that's something that Hill Harper always talks about, is we're not the slaves anymore. We're not the wealth. This is our time to participate in this new financial wealth transfer without being the wealth transferred. And so I know that's why Hill Harper created the Black Wall Street Wallet along with Najah Roberts. And that was like the whole premise of the tour, is to educate our communities. I'm grateful that you could come on tour. I think the videos were great. The photography was great. I know on my Instagram, I got lots of pictures and videos, and I know you took some of those. I'm glad your experience was great. And I hope you could take that back to your college and graduate soon and, see some of your work going in the future. If there was one more thing you want to say to anybody, what would it be before we wrap it up?
I guess one thing I would like to say is I came a long way. And, in high school, I was very, very shy, very quiet. I didn't think I was going to be where I'm at today. I didn't think I was capable of being able to talk to so many people, to travel, to really get to where I am right now. So I guess for, anybody that feels the same, I think I would like to say that is very possible to get past that. It's step by step.
That part. So from behind the camera to in front of the camera, CJ the Smart Guy, Valissa with the V. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're out.